majority of the people, when they talk to me, like when they talk about technique, they're more like, what brushes do you use and stuff like that. And I always give the same answer, like, it doesn't matter what brushes you use. The brushes, they're important, but they're not going to make you good. You can have the most awesome brushes, and if you aren't a good artist, it's not going to make any difference.
Yeah.
So you got to work on the fundamental stuff before you can start really worrying about what, you know, what's the opacity set at when, you know, when you're painting something. Like, and I tell them, like, dude, I don't have any set numbers. I do what I feel like is appropriate. I don't look, well, okay, well, opacity is supposed to be 75 here, and then the fill is going to be 90, and that's how it's good. Like, no, I just do what I feel is appropriate, because that's what art is. It's self-expression. It's not, we're not doing paint by numbers over here.
Yeah.
I know none of it's going to be the same ever.
That's a nice way to put it.
Yeah,
it's hard to be spontaneous sometimes for people, because that takes instinct and intuition, and that comes with experience, you know. Like, a lot of people are really focused on the exact brush and the exact settings, and just like you, I have very few brushes. Painter has thousands of brushes, and you could customize each of those brushes thousands of times to be a completely different brush. And there are a lot of artists who have like tons and tons and tons and tons of brushes by all kinds of different people, but I feel like that's just a big distraction. Like, personally, I use on an average painting maybe like 5 brushes that I use for pretty much every painting, and then here and there, if I need a particular effect like fire or air, I'll use a brush for that. But it's mostly like a couple blenders, a couple basic brushes for rendering, an airbrush, you know, maybe a brush for texture, and then that's really all I need, because most paintings are the shape, then the form, which I do with my airbrush, and then maybe some texture and color and maybe a little bit of glazing. And so you only really need like a few brushes to do that. Having all the other brushes is just overkill in my mind.
Yeah, like I have a ton of brushes, but it's mostly because I spent a lot of time trying to find what I wanted. And now I'm down to maybe 10 that I actually use, because once I found what I liked, that's what I use. And like, I always find it funny when people ask me about brushes and stuff, because nobody ever looks at a painting like, man, you see those brush strokes in there?
Yeah.
Like, he's crazy. Those brushes are amazing. It's like, no, you like the work, not the brush. Don't worry about that. Like, you could paint the same stuff with anything.